Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
All right, hello, welcome to Tuesday's Nights on Deck with myself, Big B. We are joined today by Dirk wearing that Mets cap. How you doing today, Dirk?
Doing good so far. Top of the ninth, winning by 1.
Well, that's good. If it was the Twins, they'd be down by 3 by now. So, and we are joined by our special guest. You guys seen him here and there, Mr. Will Polston. How you doing, bud?
Man, I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me on here. Pleasure to talk about some baseball. Definitely my sport of choice. So, happy to be here.
Thanks for joining in.
What's that?
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining in,
man. Absolutely.
No, thanks for joining.
I'm anxious to trade barbs with you,
Yeah.
as we've done previously.
Absolutely.
No, it's great to have Will on. I mean, you bring a lot to the table. So first off, I guess Dirk, you started it off. Get a recap on what the Mets are up to these days this past week.
Okay, well, they're pitching. Lugo just struck out Rizzo, 1 out, top of the ninth, winning 3-2. Their pitching has just the last 2 weeks started really coming together. Their regulars there's a lot of them that are still out, Conforto, Nimmo, but actually, overall, I like this team because these guys are playing balls out. You got this guy, Billy McKinney from Milwaukee, 26-year-old center fielder. Hey, he's come in, he's hit over 280 for the Mets. He's got 4 or 5 home runs, provided good defense, provided a spark, and things like that. Jonathan Villar playing third base, second base. Man, he's just fun to watch. I really like that guy. Kevin Pillar, got to keep my P's and V's correct here. Kevin Pillar came back to a bunch of, cheers, standing ovation. He wears a mask. Huh?
A bloody bat? He's still
and he says it's pine tar. Okay, so, but that dude, I've watched him play for a few years. He makes highlight plays in center field all the time. Average hitter, 260, 15 home runs a year, but runs the base as well. But he's a Gold Glove center fielder, and he provides that for them. And now he's got that tough guy thing going on. He's wearing the mask in the outfield because he will run into a wall, It's Lindor is hitting.
Finally.
Yes.
Well, that's why you guys are sitting. You guys are sitting 4 ahead right now. Plus you got the Cy Young.
Well, that
leader,
freak, I'll talk about him in a minute, too. I'll talk about the freak in a minute or in a few seconds here. But Lindor, month of June, he's hitting over 300. He looks so much more relaxed at the plate and stuff. He's not swinging at wild stuff. The good thing, with him, I think he's got a really good attitude because his defense did not suffer at all. His base running did not suffer at all. He was kind of making all the plays and doing everything, keeping a good attitude, always smiling. And that was his reputation in Cleveland, good guy in the clubhouse. And it seems like all the Mets players like him, and the crowds, they were booing because it is New York. Boos have started turning to cheers now, so, and that'll help him. New York's a tough place to play. Okay. Going on like that. My boy DeGrom. I've never seen anything like this. Tom Seaver is my idol. growing up and everything. And, you know, it's freaky what he's done. Okay. And I'm going to touch on it for a second because I know we're going to talk about it later with the spider tack and that kind of stuff. People are saying it, but he's just so freaking good. You know, he's never thrown this hard. He's always thrown 98, 99, occasionally hits 100. But now he's 99, 100, 102, and he just paints the outside corner of the plate, lower outside corner. Hitters can't hit it, you know, and it is a little frustrating because MLB now is so concerned about taking care of their pitchers and the pitch counts and everything. I kind of like the way Nolan Ryan taught the Rangers when he was president of the Rangers. You go out there with a mindset of throwing 9 innings. You know, that's the outset. Now, guys, and I'm sure DeGrom they think 6, 7, which probably is a reason why guys are throwing harder now. They're not saving anything. You know, but DeGrom, he's just lights out. And like on the show today at ESPN, they're saying he's a leading MVP candidate because he's also hitting 450 and he's got more RBIs than runs given out. You know, I've never seen a guy pitch like this. I was alive when Bob Gibson in 1968, but I was just learning about sports. I was like 7 or 8. Maybe 10. Okay. But yeah, there's my Mets rant, and we're in first place. And Will, I know you made a comment to me a few weeks ago because we're in the National League least or whatever, but look at all the teams in the National League. They're really, really good. You know, we went to San Diego last week, 3 out of 4, boom. You know, it's I think our division – you know, our division, honestly, the Marlins could come in first because they got such good young talent, you know. It would take somebody like the Mets and Braves and Phillies to falter. The Nationals are right there. You know, they're all bunched together about 4 games behind the Mets. You know, I think Mets have a 3-game lead, and the Marlins are down there at like 6 behind. It's real close. So let's go Mets.
All right, go Mets, I guess. So, Will, the floor is yours for a few minutes. Go talk about your Cardinals.
Man, what is there to even say about our Cardinals? Our Cardinals are terrible. We are just playing awful.
Hold my beer on that one.
we are one of the worst teams right now in the MLB. On one of the worst skids in quite some time that I can remember as a fan. Getting swept out by the Cubs, losing 3 of 4 to the Reds. It's just we are on a monumental fall right now, going from first place in the division to tied for 4th. It's not a great place to be, but it's one of those to where the injury bug has bitten us harder than a lot of seasons in the past. We are looking at one of our normal 5 starting rotation arms in the rotation right now. Right now, we're missing Jack Flaherty, we're missing Dakota Hudson, we're missing Miles Michaelis. We should be missing Carlos Martinez because that man should not be touching a mound. It's ridiculous. And then Kwang Young Kim's not doing much better this season. He didn't bounce back well. I mean, Adam Wainwright, poor guy, is still having to be an ace out there at the age of 39, 40 years old. So yeah. It's kind of terrible what we're doing right now, to be completely honest. But hey, we're losing to the Marlins, so sounds great. We kind of got back on track. Oh, actually, as I say that, the Cardinals take the lead. So that's nice. But yeah, so the Cardinals are on the struggle bus right now, but we're just hoping to turn it around here soon.
All right.
I just want to say, Will, it's early. They got a lot of talent on the Cardinals. They're the Cardinals. You know, 2 months. You know, see what the deal is. Pitching comes back. They're always a class franchise. The Yankees got 27, but y'all got 18.
So we go from the Cardinals, who Will claims to be a dumpster fire, to a very big dumpster fire here in Minnesota. Twins. They do it every time to us. They get a good, couple games in them where we think might be turning it around, and the young guys are getting the hang of it, and then of course they go out and start blowing games left and right on mistakes and stuff. The Twins are definitely getting hopefully over the injury bug, but we'll see how that comes out. Right now they're 15 games back. They play Seattle tonight. The game probably just started out there in Seattle. So Sarge, if you're listening, I hope Twins take it, but I know they did do it last night. But hey, it is kind of early, and hopefully we get over the injury bug.
The good thing is they're playing Seattle.
Yeah, they're playing in Seattle, so we'll see how that goes. So, got a couple comments. Coast to Coast is saying, "Hey, Will's making his debut. The crowd goes wild. Every time Will's on, the crowd's always wild." So, and then Conman's joining us. He's saying, "Hey, Brandon and Will, how you guys doing?" So, how you doing, Conman? Staying in touch. Thank you.
What's up, my man? How you doing? I hope you're doing all right.
Yeah. So, with that being said, the next topic we got, Dirk, you kind of hit on it. Chris, if you can pull up that slide today, I want to see if you guys saw this comment today.
Exactly.
So this is I can't even pronounce the guy's name, but
Glasnow.
Yeah, thank you.
Tyler Glasnow. Yes,
Tyler,
I saw the interview.
I was shooting the first name, but anyways, so he is blaming his injury on the lack of, or not the lack of, MLB taking away the spider substance that they're using, and now that he has to grip the ball harder and change a couple of his holes on the ball. I mean, what do you guys think? And Will, I'll go with you.
Look, here's the thing. Pitchers need something to help with their grip, and this is a little bit of a weird situation. I don't know how to feel about the Tyler Glasnow thing. I understand that he was saying that he uses the sunscreen and the rosin mixture, and then all of a sudden he can't do it and he's getting hurt. I don't know how he's getting hurt unless he's putting extended force on his elbow, trying to increase spin rates or something like that. I really don't understand where you could get hurt in this situation. Now, granted, do I think that they should be allowed to use substances such as rosin and sunscreen and stuff like that? Absolutely. I don't see what the problem is. Listen, if you're out there and you're on the mound, you're pitching hard innings, everything such as that, you're going to be sweating. You're going to be sitting there, you're getting loose, you're getting hot. Now it's getting into the June, July, August months. Everything's going to be soon the games are going to be in a lot more and everything such as that. So you're going to sweat, you're going to lose grip, you're going to do everything like that. Sometimes you need a little extra something to be able to have the grip. Now, there's a big difference between having a substance that affects your grip and affects your spin. Now, you can have something that affects your grip, and I think every single batter would want the pitcher to have something to help with their grip. You think Kevin Pillar wants to sit there and get another pop right in the nose? You think Giancarlo Stanton wants to get popped in the face again? I don't think this is a common. I don't think this is a common want from batters in the batter's box when they're there. I think batters would be completely fine with having something that controls their grip. But whenever you're adding a sticky substance such as spider tack or pine tar, or anything such as that causes your finger to stay on so long that the spin rate of your ball gets increased by 500 RPMs or more, then that's a problem. That's literally cheating. And you're seeing many pitchers do it. You've seen multiple spin rates go up, and it's just disgraceful to the game, in my opinion. I'm totally cool with you having a little extra grip, but whenever you're getting a little extra spin, you're no longer actually pitching. It's at that point you are literally cheating to make yourself better, as opposed to just having a little extra grip on the ball. That just helps with control, so a ball's not sliding up into a batter's face. You know, at that point, you're doing it for safety reasons. You're not doing it for anything else. So this is dumb. I wish this didn't happen. This is a sunscreen and rosin mixture, according to Tyler Glasnow. And now he's getting hurt because he's not doing it. He's over exuding on his elbow, whatever the case. This shouldn't happen. Now, if players are getting beat up and their spin rates are going down and everything such as that because they're not using the spider tack or whatever the case anymore, that's just baseball, man. You know, be better than your opponent. That's the best way to get outs. Okay, like don't sit there and complain. Don't bring a foreign substance in there and ruin it for everybody else. You know, as much as I love seeing a no hitter, I love seeing a home run just as much. You know, and so whenever I see absolute ridiculous spin rates and now pitchers are jumping from the 50th percentile to the 90th percentile in spin rates, you know, something's got to be done about that. So I understand the crackdown on foreign substance, but whenever it's stuff like this that's not foreign, sunscreen's approved by the league. You know, rosin's approved by the league. You know, literally they have rosin bags. So why is it now a problem? And stuff like that, I don't understand. But I think they're on the right track, but I think they're going about it in the worst possible way.
All right, Dirk.
Oh, you're the
Dirk.
echo.
Okay. Are we good?
Now you're good.
All right. So, Dirk, since you're a coach, how do you feel about this, and what would you tell your guys?
Okay, well, I coach 15-year-olds,
okay.
so we don't worry about spin rate. They throw 78 miles an hour.
Okay.
But, Will, you hit on so many points. I've been, really in the last week, I've been reading some of the interviews, listening to MLB, listening to ESPN and stuff. And they last night and tonight watching the Mets, they were talking about it nonstop. Okay, I saw part of the Tyler Glasnow interview. He's right. And hitters are. Pete Alonso said pitchers need something. Okay, rosin bags. They've been out there for 150 years. Okay, when you start sweating, it doesn't really do anything, okay? You're sweating. You put it on, and then it's just it feels slick, okay? I never heard about a rosin and sunscreen thing. Sunscreen to me is kind of slick, so I don't know, but maybe when they combine it, provides some tackiness. It's the pitchers need to hold the ball. Okay. Now, you guys have probably heard this spider tack that was originally designed for the strongest man competitions, for them to lift the concrete boulders. Okay. And they showed it, or a similar product, last night. It looks a little bit thicker than molasses, but the announcer said, you know what though? It's like, I can't push my finger on my desk with this. And that may be too much, because I've also heard of stories, pitchers throwing with it think maybe because they can snap at the end, and get that extra spin. That stuff pulls on your skin, on your fingers, and they're worried about maybe pulling your skin off a little bit or creating some kind of blister because it's too much. Something needs to be done because we've all seen, and for whatever reason this year, somehow it got popular, and it's kind of sort of acknowledged that's what's going on. And we've seen the batting averages, everybody's hitting 230. Everybody's hitting way below what they hit. And nobody wants that. Home runs they're down, but they're still kind of the guys that hit them are good, which is another subject I like to talk about, which is launch angle and all that crap, because I think you can hit better without having to launch the ball, but the pitching thing, the stress on your arm, because these guys know they can snap it off. So like DeGrom, He used to throw 101 or 102 once every 15 pitches. Now he's throwing it 3 out of 4. Is he using it? Nobody said yes, but it makes you think maybe he has. Tyler Glass now stopped using it, but tried throwing the same way. That can definitely, because these guys put so much stress on their elbow, throwing. Plus, they're not going out there thinking, I'm going to pitch 9 innings. They're going out there thinking, I need to get to 6. So they don't save any gas. They throw harder. And I think you see that more and more. Man, so many high school kids have Tommy John surgery, partly coaches' faults, partly parents don't pay attention. The kid's 10 years old. Oh, he can throw hard. He's my pitcher. 10-year-olds in tournaments throwing 120 pitches in one day. That's dumb. I will never, ever let one of my kids do. My 15-year-olds don't do that. I top them out at about 75 pitches. They're 15. They're still growing. But now when you get an extra substance where you it works and you push it, and you're putting more strain on the elbow and everything. And I think you're going to see some more injuries. I agree. There's got to be something they can use. Suppose, and they brought this up tonight. Okay, suppose they came down and said, no more pine tar for the bats. No more batting gloves. That's going to change the way hitters think. They like the pine tar because they can grab the bat very loosely and whip it through the zone. Babe Ruth and them guys, they carried logs up there and they had big, strong hands and they just mashed. It's different now. There's, somebody could probably figure out a tactile substance that you could use that would be fair. The pitchers can grip the balls because, you go to Colorado, it's high and dry. You go to Miami, it's humid, different ball characteristics. There's got to be something that the pitchers should be allowed to use that's not illegal. I'm sure if they sat down and thought about it and discussed it with people that are chemists or whatever, figure out something. They got many batters have said pitchers need something. They don't want to throw the ball wild. We don't want them to throw the ball wild, which makes ask Kevin Pillar.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right there, Dirk. That the batters have even come out and said they need to grip something. And Will, totally agree. I totally agree with Will and you, Dirk. I mean, they need something. As long as it's not cheating, I think Will kind of alluded to that. So
can I actually get Chris? Can I get a full screen? I want to demonstrate something to
go ahead.
everybody else, or no, not that of me, or just blow me up a little bit more. So
go ahead, Will.
Whenever you're sitting there pitching, I have 2 baseballs to prove it. Whenever you're sitting there pitching, this is your grip. You go right along these horseshoe lines. Yep. Now, if you can see in that ball, the stitching is pretty damaged. If you sit there. Now, MLB doesn't have that rule. They don't care. They keep like 90 million balls per game. So it doesn't work out the same. So, but whenever you're talking about grip, that's literally what the stitches are for. Yep. Now, think about if the stitches get wet because your hands are sweaty or they get hit right on the ball and your stitch gets damaged. Yep. You're not going to have good grip on this ball. So it might not feel right. It might not feel the same. That causes for dumb things.
Absolutely.
So whenever you look at a baseball with good stitches and everything such as that, and then you add something else to it, there's a big difference. When you have the grip on a ball, the ball's going to come out the normal way like it always does. But whenever you have a sticky substance on your throwing hand, that ball is going to stick on that finger to the last possible second.
Physics.
And it's going to literally just rip it. And whenever it comes off of that finger, it's going to spin at such a crazy different rate. And so now your ball isn't spinning like this. It's spinning like this, and then it's going a completely different way at a completely different speed. You can take me on full screen now. But yeah, it's stuff like that to where there's a big difference between grip and and that's why I said the big difference between grip and spin. Because if you have the grip, you can control where a ball goes.
Yeah.
That's literally how cutters are thrown.
Mhm.
Cutters are thrown because you put a little extra pressure on one finger.
Right.
You throw it just like a fastball, but you put it a little bit extra on one end, so it either spins that way when you release it, or it spins that way when you release it. Mariano Rivera made a career off of it. So it's pitches like that if you have the grip, you're going to be a good pitcher. Now, if you have the grip, because whenever you do off-speed pitches, it's not focused so much on the grip. It's focused on the snap. It's focused on your release.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because whenever you throw curveballs, especially if you throw overhanded, it comes out and it comes out of your hand like that. And
Mhm.
so it's all about that spin, that reducing speed that causes it to drop and everything such as that, and your rotations per minute and everything such as that. So that's why I say there's a big difference between, grip and spin. And, Dirk said that he hopes that they can find something that they approve for the grip. They have. It's called rosin. I don't know what the problem is. Like, literally every pitcher has a rosin bag. In 2020, they wanted to avoid COVID. Literally every single pitcher had their own rosin bag.
bag. Yep.
Now-
And if you ever watch like certain pitchers, Lance Lynn this year, Lance Lynn's having an absolutely phenomenal year. You ever watch him? He sits there and cakes his whole arm in it. He'll literally sit
He
there
did
and
that
tap up
last
and
year
down
with
his
the
Oh,
Rain.
okay. I guess I didn't pay attention. So.
Sometimes and he does it clear as day. He does it right there, and when the camera's on him, he doesn't care. He's caking it up because
He's
gonna
like
go right
me.
back.
He sweats
that grip.
like a racehorse.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a big old country
They
boy in the
talked
summer
about
heat.
that here last year. He said he does it to keep the sweat running down his hand.
Exactly. Because once you get that wet fingertip, you're not going to have that grip anymore.
Exactly. And the rosin, I bowled a lot when I was younger.
Oh, yeah.
Rosin was great when when you had normal humidity and on your ball. But when you get humid, the rosin doesn't feel tacky. Or
Yeah.
if it's super dry, like up in Colorado, the rosin doesn't really do anything. It's powder and it falls off, but they need to come up with something. Maybe find a tackier way to make rosin. Mix it with a touch of pine tar or something, just so it can, for a minute, your fingers feel tacky and you can have control. Because I think that's all they're really asking. You know what I mean?
It's just one of those things. Rosin is literally just chalk, and chalk is used in every other sport.
Yep,
and
exactly.
even not even all physical sports. I mean, yeah, it's used in weightlifting for grip. It's used in pool for grip on your stick. It's all this. So why is it a problem in baseball when it's not controlling spin rates and it's not controlling stuff like that? This is why I say the foreign substance problem is a problem, but don't make a problem of things that aren't the issue. Whenever Giovanni Gallegos got pulled from that Cardinal game for the white spot on his hat, there's only two substances approved by the MLB that are white, and that's chalk or rosin and sunscreen. Spider tack, pine tar, that's all dark substances. Think about Michael Pineda when he got caught with that big brown stain right there on his neck. Like, that's obvious, and why do you think everybody puts it in their dark colored gloves? You don't see it on batting gloves. You don't see it on anything else. There's a reason, and there's obviously a way to try to hide it, and there's ways to go about it. But whenever it's a white substance, it's not going to be anything of problem. And even then, he even came out and said it's a mixture of sunscreen and rosin. What's the problem? Those are both two things approved by the league. Now, if they are literally taking sunscreen and rosin and mixing it up and making it really tacky, like completely away from the game, then I understand. But whenever the sun is out, you're putting sunscreen on, and then you're using your own rosin bag approved by the MLB.
He's literally on ESPN right now talking Tyler Glasnow.
Oh, okay.
It's just ridiculous when you bring in two league-approved substances, and now you're using them just like the league allows you to, and now you're in trouble. Like it doesn't. You got to make up your mind. Do you want sunscreen in the league? Do you want rosin in the league? You got to allow them both. And if you do allow them both, you can't complain about it because it's approved. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Will's hitting it right there. Thanks for the little demonstration, Will, on
hey, no problem.
some gripping there. So, do you guys agree on the punishment that pitchers will face? Do you agree they should start it this year? Do you agree that it should be 8 times a game that umps can go check them? What do you guys' thoughts on that? Dirk, we'll start with you.
Well, they came down 2 weeks ago and said they were going to start checking.
Yep.
Uh,
End of July, I think.
yeah, and okay, let's do that. End of July. That'll give pitchers time to
Adjust.
find something else or adjust to it. As far as punishments, what punishment you get for a corked bat? Suspension, $100,000, like that. To me, yeah, punishment. If the guy's going to be dumb enough to keep using something that's banned, just like PEDs, that's more serious. But you're going to get caught, and find something that works. And, hopefully MLB comes out with some, because athletes nowadays are in so much better shape and physical than they were even 20 years ago. Could you imagine Willie Mays playing today with the workout regime? He'd have hit 900 home runs, and he was in terrific shape. I stood next to him once, and when he was 40 years old, I could see his muscles through his uniform, but it's, batters can have pine tar. Find something that you can use. Y'all remember back in the 70s and early 80s in the NFL, wide receivers, this is before gloves, they used Stickum.
Yeah.
Remember? Stickum. And they just smooshed it on their hands. It would look like Vaseline on their hands. Well, they could catch the ball. Then they banned Stickum, and guys tried using orange juice and stuff like that. And then in the late 80s, we can use rubber gloves, which is just like Stickum. So why'd you get rid of it? But it's cleaner. You don't take an hour to clean it off your hands after a game. There has to be something, and this is something that MLB and the MLPA need to discuss and not go through the stupid, almost political arguments. Nobody's going to win. We want to find something that everybody is happy with. The hitters want the pitchers to be controllable. Their pitches, they want them to be under control. The pitchers say, well, we need a little something. The rosin bag is been around for 150 years. Well, Spider Tack wasn't around in 1890, stuff like that. Now, Spider Tack, it's probably too much. Why can't you develop something that's like 30% of that? Something they can use, put on their hands, and it's sticky for a couple of minutes, but it's not really, you can't stick the baseball on your finger and let it dangle like that,
Or catcher's vest.
Yeah, batters, Josh Hamilton.
I know we'll get where I'm going.
This sticky stuff on his bat. He'd go up to the catcher and hold his bat like this with an open hand, and the bat's just staying there. That's sticky, but
Okay.
They need something. It's going to hurt guys because they're throwing harder than ever. The pitching game has changed. It's all if you can't throw 95, you better be really good at the junk stuff because there's no more Greg Maddux 92 miles an hour on the corner.
Nope.
And
so, what do you think? Well, the punishment fit is it too? Should there be one?
There's no punishment. Did you see what the punishment is?
Yeah, 10 days and
with pay.
With pay, yep.
With pay.
But I think it gets I think it gets stricter if they get repeat offenders.
And that's like 2 starts for a pitcher.
Starting pitcher
Exactly.
2 games and is getting paid the whole time.
Yep.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's just like the Astros cheating scandal. What should we do? Nothing. That'll work.
You are exactly right.
A coward.
So Will, did you I just saw on ESPN they came out with the new policy today. Did you read that?
I have not.
Oh, what was that?
Read? You know, because I didn't see that yet. So
The only thing I have seen it was the first thing that was issued was that the first time you get caught was 10 days with pay.
Okay,
Which
yep.
was out. That
Well, now
I
they've
don't know
got
what
an
it is
official
after that.
policy.
Yeah, and it's one of those, and it scares me because baseball is my love. I love baseball. It's my
Right
baby.
there with you, brother.
And next year is the CBA, and that's gonna get awkward.
I
And
ain't even ready for that headache.
I'm not ready for it. I mean, we already were going to have enough heat with the universal DH. Enough people were going to cause enough heat with that. Now we're going to get into substance abuse and everything such as that, and it goes beyond steroids. It goes into, like I said, it goes into stuff that is approved by the league, and a lot of players are going to get mad. A lot of players are going to get shown out this year. A lot of players are going to run into some sticky situations, to say the least, and it's going to be bad. And I'm concerned that all of this will just cause for a lockout, and I don't want that. I want anything but that. I need 162 game seasons. I'm so sick and tired after getting that 60 game season. Rob Manfred so far has only done bad things for the sport of baseball, and it's only going to get worse if he bans rosin, if he does anything like that. I mean, it's one of those things. There's plenty of things that can help with grip that are approved by the MLB.
Yep.
Pine tar.
You got to figure out what it is.
Exactly, and the problem is that if you don't want pine tar to be used by pitchers, don't let it be used by batters, because it's going to be in the clubhouse.
Yep.
You think a pitcher can't go find some pine tar, put it on the inside of his glove, and be good? Like it when it's easily accessible, you're almost asking them to do it. And
catchers. They talked about that tonight, and then I remembered that catchers put pine tar on the side of their shin guards. Okay, not for the pitcher, but for them when they get the ball, the throw. Because they need grip. That's okay.
Oh,
they just can't put a little chunk on it and toss it back to the pitcher.
Look,
but they're just using it for them. So if that's okay, well, the pitcher, why not? If it's something that he can control the ball, and I've heard so many times this year, pitchers or a lot of batters said, I've never seen a pitch like that. And good hitters, too many have said that. So there's something that needs to be done. It's I don't know what you do, but there's got to be something that they can come up, make a better rosin that works with humidity and dry air. They just want a little bit of tackiness. I don't think like they make it out like, oh, if a pitcher uses this, then he's twice as good. They're professional athletes. It's minute changes that, they're all professional. It's minute changes that gives them the advantage. It's not like us playing softball, and, we go, and I microwave my softball, and so we can hit it 500 feet,
Right.
It's minute changes. And this is one of the things, and MLBA and MLB, they need to agree on this. They got the CBA coming on. I can so see this. MLB is going to use it as a leverage stick. The Major League Players Association is going to go no, and they're going to argue about this to hold it out. Will, I'm right with you. I'm so tired of millionaires and billionaires arguing about money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Nope. You guys are exactly right. Hit everything. Hopefully with the CBA coming up, we can have a fair and easy transition to whatever they decide to do. And, like Will said, I definitely don't want to see a shortened season or a strike season, especially after coming off his 60 games last year. So, moving on. All-Star game, I believe, is next week or within the next week or something like that.
Well, the ballots are coming out.
I think it's next month.
Next month. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
the ballots have just started going out.
The ballots are coming out. Okay.
We just got the first release after the first ballot results.
Gotcha. It is in July. I don't know why I thought June. You guys are right. So, early consideration for All-Star game. What do you guys? You got some names out there you guys think of, or somebody that might be on the bubble right now?
I mean, there's a couple guys that I feel like. I mean, just to harp on my own team really quick, I know pitchers aren't selected, which sucks.
Goldie.
Pitchers are selected by the managers. So there's a couple names already that I really hope make it, but I just don't know if they will because of the MLB All-Star game and it's picked through managers, which concerns me. For my own team, I hope there's a couple guys. I hope to see Arenado in there. He's currently second in the NL behind Chris
wouldn't
Bryant.
that be something?
I would love it. And not only that, but back in Colorado,
That's what I was getting at, Will.
And in a St. Louis Cardinals jersey, that'd be amazing. I can definitely go for that. But right now he's in second behind Chris Bryant, which I have my own gripes about that because Chris Bryant has played the majority games in the outfield this year. But anyway, there's a couple people that I really hope get in. Like I really want to see Taylor Rogers from the Miami Marlins. That guy's been absolutely electric this year. He's pitching around like a sub-2 ERA on a really bad team. So, or at least a subpar team. I'd love to see a guy. We talk about Jacob deGrom enough. I'd love to see Taijuan Walker make it. Taijuan Walker's been absolutely electric so far this season. Couple other pitchers that I can think of. Alex Reyes on my team. I really hope he makes it. I don't know if he's still perfect, but I know at a point he was one of only 3 perfect closers in the National League. So I'd love to see that. And he was second in the MLB in saves at a point behind Mark Melancon. Would love to see Tyler O'Neill. Guys popped off 15 home runs, batting 280 in the outfield. But the outfield for the National League's pretty stacked. And then there's some American League guys. I'm really excited to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. out there. He was leading first base after the first round, and I don't see anybody catching up to him. The guy's been absolutely disgusting. Hits a ton of bombs. Hope to see him again in the home run derby. And then there's just some other names there and there, like Kyle Gibson, another random pitcher.
Kyle Gibson, yeah.
It's second in the league in ERA.
I mean, Kyle Gibson, Kevin Gausman, Trevor Rogers. I mean, it's all just a bunch of random pitchers doing really well. Taijuan Walker is doing really well. The list goes on. I know there's plenty of pitchers that are typically not up there that are doing very well so far, and it's interesting to see. So I'm sure every single team has to be represented. So I'm sure they're going to find a way to get all those guys in there. But right now with Kevin Gausman, I mean, I know he's like second in the MLB in ERA. Only behind DeGrom. So, you'd think there's no way you can sneak him out. But the Giants have been a pretty good team so far. They've got a couple guys that could go in there. I think Buster Posey was leading catcher votes after round 1. So
Giants are for real.
Yeah.
They're for real.
So Dirk, what about you? Any names you want to throw out there that Will hasn't?
I'm not going to talk so much about pitchers, but I think Will's correct. I mean, DeGrom's a no-brainer, but with the Mets, Marcus Stroman is having a great year. Him and Walker, they're below 3 ERA. They strike out. The K's, the balls, bases on balls is really good. Taijuan Walker, I remember a few years ago when he came up with Toronto and he played the Rangers and they were talking about how good he was going to be. And then he got an arm problem out a year, came back. And it looks like tonight that guy's fired up, and he was, 95 on the corners. He was just pumping it tonight. This may have been the best game he's ever pitched. Kyle Gibson on the Rangers is doing really well, even though the Rangers aren't. They're very young. Another player on the Rangers that I love, this guy is amazing. Won a Gold Glove last year at third base. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Shortstop. Do you know this guy never hit a home run in the minor leagues or high school?
Really?
Never hit a home run.
Wow.
His first home run ever was in the major leagues. Now he's hitting 280, 290. He's got like 8 or 9 bombs, 30 some RBIs, and and I've seen him on the Rangers for years. He's played like every position except pitcher. He caught for the Rangers a lot of games. This guy is an athlete. He's really good. And now that they got him in one position, now he's finally able to take charge of his batting. So he's putting up all-star numbers, but there's a lot of good shortstops,
Yeah.
Lindor is going to get 1 million votes just because he's Lindor, and by the All-Star game, he may be up to 260 and have respectable numbers, things like that. Of course, Mike Trout always, whenever he comes back.
No,
Get him
I
outta
get you
here.
guys. I definitely understand, and you guys named everybody. For the Twins, honestly, like Will said, each team's got to be representative. Twins don't have one, and if it is, it's going to be either Buxton or Cruz. I can't see them. I can't see them both getting in there. If Buxton ain't back healthy, I can't see him getting the All-Star vote. But before we go on to our last topic, I got a little stat. Will might know this one because I know he lived in Tampa. Who was the first Tampa Bay to hit a home run?
The first ever Tampa Bay Ray to hit a home run?
Yep.
In a giant toilet bowl?
It wasn't Boggs. Oh, God.
Was it?
It was Wade
Wade
Boggs.
Was it?
Yep, Wade Boggs. And there's so today is actually Wade Boggs' birthday, so that's why I kind
I
of
was just
brought it
going
up
to say
today.
that. He's 63. He's
Yeah,
my age.
63. Yeah, so
He hit a little better than I did, though. A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. So our final topic before we wrap it up. Go ahead,
before
Will.
we move on,
Yeah.
completely forgot. I voted for this guy in the All-Star game, and he's not leading his position, which really makes me mad. Adam Frazier on the Pirates. Guy's batting .330 with only 2 home runs. Got an OPS of his OPS is pushing 900, and he doesn't hit home runs. He doesn't hit for power at all.
It's a
If you
crap
have a
load of
900
doubles, though.
OPS, that's nutty, and you're on a crappy team. You want to talk about bad? That's a bad.
Exactly.
Team.
And he's a young player, too.
Before we do move on, well, you alluded to it. Do you think each team should be representative in the
No.
All-Star game?
Some
No?
teams suck. Look, it's an all-star game. Shouldn't you have the all-stars out there?
I totally agree.
I mean, granted, some people are in there just because of their team, and granted, some people don't get the light because they're on a crappy team. But at the same time, I also don't think the all-star team should be fan voted because it's just it turns into most of the times, at least in
Popular.
the past.
It's a popularity contest.
Some team gets hurt, and then next thing you know, the entire Cubs lineup is in the entire infield. They literally had one a couple years ago where it was Contreras, Russell, Javi, Rizzo, and Bryant were all in the infield.
2017,
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Yep.
That is so stupid because Addison and Jason Hayward got voted into the All-Star game batting .220.
Yeah.
What is that? That's not an all-star. That's a participation ribbon, and it already doesn't mean anything. So at least put the good players in there. Are
they using the DH in the National League this year for the All-Star game?
I doubt it. They typically don't.
Okay.
Don't they do whatever the home stadium is?
Yeah, they
That's
do.
what I
whatever
thought
the
too.
home
But,
It's
stadium
in Colorado now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason why I brought it up
Atlanta,
is because of Owatani.
idiots.
Do we see Owatani play the field and pitch in the All-Star game this year?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. He's going to get voted. He's already leading the votes as DH. So,
is he really? Okay.
yeah, he's currently the DH leader in the American League. So
He's kind of
hit.
he's kind of my early MVP
Owatani,
because he's done good, But I mean, if he just played the outfield and hit, he'd be, he's phenomenal.
So, speaking, I wasn't going to bring it up, but, Dirk kind of brought it up with Owatani being MVP. Could this be the first time that AL and NL only has one winner for both awards? Owatani for MVP and Cy Young?
No, that's happened. It's
Where-
happened.
No,
It's
and then
happened once
in the
or twice.
National League where it's just DeGrom wins MVP.
You're
and
saying
Cy
could this be the first time it happens in both leagues?
both leagues? Yes.
Oh, both leagues. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
I don't hate that. I mean,
I
right
guess
now-
if your MVP is a pitcher, I mean,
right now
Yeah.
it's hard to honestly deny it.
exactly.
Otani's pitching great. I don't know his
And
numbers.
then he goes and plays the
off
field
my
for a
head.
few innings. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
why not?
DeGrom's a
Ohtani-
lock for definitely Cy Young. I mean,
Otani or Kiner Falefa might be the first player to play at every single position in a game for the first one in a while. So yeah, no, I like Otani. I don't hate that at all. I mean, very entertaining to watch, and there's no better pitcher than Jacob deGrom. And if he ends the year, which the pace he's on, it's ridiculous. And if he can end anywhere near where he's at right now, then you might as well lock it. If he ends the season with the lowest ERA in MLB history, it's almost a lock.
Especially if the Mets win it,
Hey,
or at least get wild card.
let's
you know.
slow down there, but hey.
Hey, I'm a
so
fan. I know all about heartbreak.
oh yeah,
And I live in Dallas, so I like the Rangers too. Very similar to the Mets. Heartbreak.
yeah.
Don't blame you there.
All right, so our last topic, we're gonna play a little GM for our teams.
Ooh.
Will, you got the Cardinals, Dirk, you got the Mets. I'll take the Twins. What do you see your team doing, or what do you want to see them do here going towards the trade deadline to better themselves or sell, in my case? So what do you guys think? We'll start with Will. What do you got there, Will?
Sweet Jesus, we better go get pitching. Good God Almighty, we have never needed it more in our life. I have never seen a starting pitching staff from the St. Louis Cardinals be so bad. And granted, it's because they're hurt, but that's no excuse. We have no reason to be tied for fourth right now. We also have no reason to be struggling against the Miami Marlins right now. The fact that and here's another thing: we need bench bats, because right now I just got a tweet that Adam Wainwright is coming in to pinch hit. That's a problem. This is an actual problem. So let's get some pitching, and let's get somebody who can actually be a factor off the bench, because right now it's a 1-1 game against the Marlins, and that's disgusting.
They had their chance to go get their guy before he signed with the Dodger Blue. So
I don't want Trevor Bauer. I don't want that guy.
I know he knows I'm not talking about Bauer.
There's still Pujols. I thought I was still on the pitching thing. But yeah, no. If there's a pitcher, there's a pitcher that's been being thrown around that we might go after, and I'm sure Dirk would appreciate this to get him out of the division. We've been linked to Max Scherzer a lot. And I don't know how I feel about it. Obviously, he's a rental, but there's been talks about us trading. But Scherzer's from the area, not too far from, if I'm not mistaken. But we're talking about giving up Nolan Gorman. And Nolan Gorman just made the Prospects Team of the Week for hitting 7 home runs in a week. This guy's a stud. We spent a first-round pick on him for a reason. And granted, he's a third baseman, and we're going to have Arenado over there for quite some time. But Gorman was just taking reps in spring training at second base, and that's a position we don't have locked in. If he wants to take reps at shortstop, I'll be more than willing to let him go do that too.
Well, he'll be the DH next year probably. So.
And granted,
he's an athletic guy that can play the outfield.
Exactly. They're
young. They're 22.
Exactly. Gorman's still really young. He's 19.
Oh my God!
You want to talk about a guy who can be moved around. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's not going to play at third base in a major position. He got plenty of time to learn.
Exactly, and there's plenty of things that he could be taught. He's got the bat. He's got a great stick. It's just going to be teaching him a new position. And honestly, that's a guy who's very special that I haven't seen hype around a guy this low in the minors in a while for the Cardinals. Honestly, probably since Pujols. I haven't seen a guy get hyped up in the minor leagues like Nolan Gorman is in our organization. So to trade him on a rental seems like a terrible decision.
That does seem like a
whoever we can finesse, hopefully we can finesse them like we did the Rockies, because if we can give up a bag of balls and a lefty who doesn't pitch to get a perennial player and one of the best players of his generation, that'd be pretty cool. So, Garrett Cole, whatever you're doing, if you want to come play for St. Louis, I mean, by all means. We need pitching more than anything, and could definitely.
Hey, Will, I'm sure the Rangers would listen to Kyle Gibson. He's
I don't hate it.
He's only like 32. Brandon knows more about him than I do, but I like what I see about the guy.
Gibson,
he's a default ace with the Rangers, but he's really calm. He pitches good. He has good mechanics. It looks like he never gets hurt. And you're not looking for an ace. You're looking for a 3 or 4 guy that can fill in, really.
Right.
And, if you got enough minor league prospects, as far as Scherzer, I would say look at where the Nationals are, because they're a good team.
Right.
They're really good. If they're within 8 or 9 games at first, you may not be able to get them unless you really sweeten a deal.
Right.
I don't know what Scherzer thinks about Washington. They're going to have a good team for years to come, which I think the Cardinals will be good, though. I think this is a little off for them.
Right.
Personally, I have a lot of respect for the Cardinals, and I think by the end of the year, you guys are going to fight for it.
We always do. We're never
really
out of
good.
it. We're never out of it.
All right. Yeah. So, Dirk, we heard Will wants some pitching and a bat or two off the bench. How about you? How about what the Mets? What do the Mets need to stay in contention?
Got a little photobomb there. And, the Mets, they have a couple of issues coming up, but they've got, to me, the best owner in baseball. Steve Cohen has more money than God, and he's a Mets fan. He's the owner's worst nightmare, Now, Conforto, this is kind of the bigger story. Okay, he's hurt now, so we don't know. But last year, he had a great year. He's always been good. Okay, I'd like them to sign Conforto to a nice extension. He's a great right fielder. He's a very well above average hitter, 30 home runs, 280, 290, perfect number 3 hitter, okay? Unfortunately, his agent is the baseball antichrist, Scott Boras. Who's with me, right?
Yeah, you gotta love him. He's so fun for baseball.
Yeah, he never lets his guys sign with the team. He always makes them, he's all about the money. I get it. But, Conforto, he's Italian. He should be in New York.
Yep.
I don't know what to say. So they got that little issue to deal with. The Mets do have a couple guys in the minor leagues. They don't have the best farm system, but they've got some players in there. They don't have the worst. They're probably in the middle. If they could swing a deal somehow without giving up pitching to get a 4th outfielder that can play center for reals, if he can play center like Pilar, Nimmo's the center fielder. Really good hitter, but he's really a left fielder, but you got Dom Smith in left field, and then they say, well, Dom Smith is good to play first. Dominic Smith has really improved his outfield play. He's pretty good. I saw him make a play tonight. It was good. He's fast, so the Mets don't need major help, but if they could get a solid outfielder, just in case, a guy, a center fielder, a quality center fielder, I'd do something with that. I wouldn't really trade many of the pitchers. Okay. I like Stroman. He's coming up on a freaking contract too. But Stroman's a New Yorker. He should like playing in New York. I think he's a good pitcher. You know, he's better than average. He's a good number 3 or maybe a number 2. Same as Taijuan Walker. You know, it's their fourth. If the Mets can pick up another, like a Kyle Gibson pitcher, that would be interesting too, you know, to bolster their starting staff. Their healthy everyday lineup, which is hard to say, is pretty good as far as offense. And I don't know, Steve Cohen, he'll spend the money. He spent it for Lindor. He waited to the last minute. I was glad he did it. Some people weren't, but you know what? That's what you pay for basically an all-star shortstop, you know.
Right.
You know, Pete Alonso's going to be at first base for years. You know, hopefully they lock him up early and get him a good deal. It's really, they don't need much. More defense in the outfield, or if they can pick up a slick fielding infielder that can come off the bench, and maybe another starter. I think their bullpen is rounding into shape now that Lugo's back. You know, he's pretty freaking awesome. You know, he's a good setup man. Looks like Edwin Diaz has regained his form. Like last night, he threw like 11 pitches, 3 strikeouts. You know, it was
nice. So,
but
got
yeah,
Will that wants starting and some bench help. You got Dirk that doesn't want nothing really, you know, unless they can get a 4th outfielder. So for me, the Twins, everybody's available. I don't think they hold on to one person. You know, as much as I didn't like Buxton, I think he's coming around to where I'd like to keep him. But, you know, you're 15, 16 games out already. I don't see, you know, I mean, I don't think they're going to make any moves now until probably a week or 2 before the trade deadline hits to see where they're at. But right now, they're sellers. They're selling everybody. They're selling the bases, the chalk, the mound, you know, tickets to the game. I think they're selling. I think they're selling everybody.
Offers at Tampa Bay for some of their prospects.
Yeah. So
go give Nelson Cruz to the Rays. Do it. Please, I'm begging you.
I keep meaning to look at him. How's he doing this year at 41 years old?
He's got 12, 13 bombs, I think. I mean, he's Nelson Cruz.
It's just amazing, no matter what. It's Nelson Cruz.
You know, and honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing him. You know, get him there for a bat off the bench. You know, to make your playoff run. But
I want Nelson Cruz starting. I don't care how god awful he is in the outfield.
Yeah. So
you love Nelson Cruz because he can't catch a fly
love
ball.
That guy. I tell you what, he might not know his way around right field in Busch Stadium, but maybe we can train him to play first, and Paul Goldschmidt can go play right or something.
Dude, I tell you, exactly. When I saw that ball hit and I saw him going back, at first I thought, oh, he's got it tracked, and then he took a stumble left and stumble right, and I went, uh-oh. Me and my buddy were off our chairs, screaming and yelling, we won, and then it bounced off his glove. Keep in mind they had Chavez, a Gold Glove outfielder, on the bench.
Yep. Feels good. It felt great.
Yeah, but right now I don't think the Twins are making any moves except for selling. They're going to sell. You know, hopefully they get out of Donaldson's contract. Like I said it before, I hate to see them get rid of Buxton because that guy plays at 150% every time that he's out on the field. And I think actually I saw a stat, I think it was, that the Twins' win percentage is like 760 or 750, somewhere in the ballpark when Buxton's on the field. So
you're not getting rid of Buxton.
I hope not.
He's the future of the Twins.
No, you got to give him a couple of years. He's got.
No,
he's going to blossom when he's like 28, 29.
Oh, yeah.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with you that they got to hold on to him. But you know, right now, the phone's ringing. I'm listening to every offer if I'm the Twins on whoever it is. So
look at the teams that have good prospects. Marlins and Rays always have awesome prospects. You know, call him. Hey, I don't care if he's in AA. You drafted him, so we know he's going to be good. You know, or even single A. You know.
Oh yeah. But that wraps up our show, guys. Give you guys about 30 seconds to say your final thoughts. Dirk, go ahead. Give us an update on the Mets game.
We're getting into the dog days of summer because it's been 97 here in Dallas. And so it's hot, and this is when baseball starts heating up. I'm really loving my Mets. I do follow the Rangers too. They're not winning, but they're a very exciting club. A lot of their young players are pretty good. Could be a core there in a couple of years. Rangers, as always, need pitching.
Yep.
But it's just I'm glad baseball's back. I've been enjoying this. Seeing the full stands and everything.
Yep.
I hope MLB and the Players Association get together on the dang pitchers substance. I don't call it substance abuse. To me, that means steroids. It's just give them something to put on their hands when it's hot, humid, dry, cold. A little advantage. The batters want it. They all say it. Right?
Yep.
So baseball out.
All right, Mr. Teacher there. Will, what do you got? Final thoughts there?
A couple things. Michael Conforto, Dirk, I agree with you. He should be in New York, but maybe he looks good in pinstripes next year. Who knows? But
oh, my effing God, no.
And they need an outfielder something fierce.
Horrible thing that could happen, too.
Yeah.
That would be as bad as Johnny Damon going from the Red Sox to the Yankees.
Isn't that disgusting?
God, yeah.
But no, seriously, no, I agree with Dirk. Give him something. Let's figure it out. Let's not have a lockout. And can somebody please, dear God, fire Jeff Albert, the Cardinals hitting coach? I will pay you double. And anybody else, well, we basically should have open tryouts for be a hitting coach of the of the St. Louis Cardinals. Don't even know what happened to Willie McGee. Willie McGee was doing great. We were hitting great. Don't know what happened. Anyway, Jeff Albert,
Mark McGwire still available?
He's in the Padres.
Is he?
I think Padres are the Dodgers. Dodgers last time I remember. Padres.
Actually, I think I want to say he's with Dodgers. I think
he's with one or the other. I know he's with one of those NL West teams. So Cardinals quit messing around. Why are we 1-1 in the ninth right now with the Marlins? That's disgusting. Figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, Tim. Mariners 2021 champions. Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. So, with that being said, I have nothing really to go on. I mean, can't really talk about Twins, but you guys nailed it. Hope the players and the MLB can get together on a quick settlement on the CBA coming up this year. I'm enjoying baseball just like the rest of you guys. Chris, please remind me, I believe we have a special broadcast tonight of our Thursday show. Is that going live?
Yeah, it's going to be Speak Out coming up around 10:30 Central.
All right, so please check that out, guys. It's with our guy Trey and our guy Adam. Please check that out. And with that being said, Chris, thanks for doing all the hard work behind the scenes there. Will, thanks for jumping on last minute.
Pleasure.
Dirk, I'll see you next week, Tuesday. Actually, we'll see you Friday with Chris, I believe.
Yeah.
But outside that, I'll see you next week. So have a good one, guys.
All right. Shout out to Tim. Go Mariners.
All right.
Bye.